Okay, we're live. Hello, Luna. Hi, how are you?
Hello, I'm great. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you so much for joining us once again. And hello, all. And we will be waiting for you to join us as well. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn at the same time. And this is our monthly mindset session, mindset edition of the Ask Your Mentor Anything live series that you have loved. And some of you are very loyal and you find them really helpful. And thank you so much for your kind words and joining us live. So, hello, I see people joining us. You
Great.
can use the comments below and let us know if you have any kind of questions, translation business related or mindset related that you would like us to address today. So use the comments below wherever you're watching us from and let me know where are you from. So I would really love to know, always ask people if they join us, where are you from? So I'm right now in Athens. And for those that you're joining us for the first time, hello from Poland, amazing. You can click the link of StreamYard so as to be able to see your name. Is this Dorota, I assume?
Mhm.
Um, and let me know if you have any kind of limiting beliefs, things that you think that they are holding you back from actually achieving your goals. So today, the topic I think is really, really important when it comes to growth and growing your translation business or growing professionally and personally as a translator, because we are translators and Luna is an interpreter as well. So I don't distinguish, but since you've been asking to actually host for interpreters lives, I address them the same when it comes to marketing and mindset, in my opinion. But definitely, if you're interpreters and if you have a question about interpreting, we have Luna. Luna is an interpreter, very successful, so you can ask her. And she's been growing her business as well. So we're here to address any kind of questions that you might have about the translation industry, usually business related or mindset related. For those that you're joining us for the first time, because I see some new faces here, and thank you so much. This is a series
Welcome.
that we launched in January 2020, if I remember correct, before COVID. We used to go live every Friday for a whole year, even longer than a whole year. And recently, I think it was last year, as a result of the alumni mastermind group that we have, for those that they graduate from my group programs, mentoring and one-to-one programs, we came up with the idea of actually focusing a lot on mindset. And for me, it's really, really important. Luna asked for this and also other members. So we said, why not to actually host some live specifically for mindset topics? Because I think, as I've been mentioning, mindset is very, very important along with action taking, because someone told me or I read somewhere that it's not about mindset, it's about taking action. And for me, as I always say, all of my programs are for action takers. So I have it for granted. But since some of you don't, definitely for me, the best combination is actually having the right mindset and actually taking action so as to be able to see the results that you wish in your business. So why we came up for this topic, I can share my opinion and then Luna will introduce the topic. I think limiting beliefs are those that they are holding us back from actually taking action. So we come back to what I was just saying. So if you think that something is holding you back, or there are some people that they don't realize that they have, some limiting beliefs that they're holding them back, then this topic is for you. If you are, for some reason, holding yourself back of taking the right action, and by action, I mean any kind of action, either marketing related or business related, that actually would help you grow. Like, for example, contacting your clients. You're afraid, you have limiting beliefs that we're going to address later on, so stay tuned. So for any kind of reason, those are limiting beliefs. And for me, and for the work that I do with my mentees and my mentoring group programs, it's really important to recognize those limiting beliefs, because sometimes we have them and we don't know them. So definitely for me, this session is really, really important, and you will be able to watch the recording once again. But I really think it's important to join us live so as to be able to address your specific case studies and case scenarios and address all of your questions. And of course, I'm really happy to interact with you guys. So thank you all of you for being here. And Luna, would you like to introduce the topic?
Yes, I think it was potentially the first thing that I realized when I was, starting my business, and I realized that I had those limiting beliefs, but it was only after someone told me that they existed, that it was a thing, that I realized how much they were holding me back. And so, limiting beliefs are things that we think are truths. So it's usually ingrained in our conditioning. It's something that we grew up with, and sometimes it's hard to realize them because it's just our reality. But it's things when you tell yourself, for example, oh, it's just how things are. I'm just not this type of person. The world is that way. Other people are that way. And all of these make you not in control of that aspect of your life. You're kind of thinking, it's just the way it is and there's nothing I can do about it. So
Can
debunking
I
and overcoming your limiting beliefs is getting
would you
that
like to
control
hear me?
again and realizing that there's always something you can do.
Can you hear
um
me?
yeah.
I thought that you couldn't hear me. I would like to
No,
make
I
a
can hear
comment.
you, sorry.
You mentioned something really important, that actually we think that they are true.
That's it.
This is something that we need to pay some attention. I think that this is really important. Those are beliefs that we have that are holding us back from actually taking action, that they have nothing to do with the actual reality. But for us, the moment that we have those beliefs are the reality, we think that they are true. So thank you for mentioning that, and that's what I would like to mention. Can you speak a bit louder, because I think that there is a problem with the sound, or maybe the microphone can be closer to, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is this better?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's it. That's I think the main thing that you need to realize exactly what you just said is that this is not true. It's stories that you tell yourself. And is so the ones that we really want to overcome today are the ones that keep coming back to you, like negative thoughts. Sometimes we just have one negative thought and that's fine. But it's the ones that are keep recurring in your life, and that you believe are true. For example, I will never be able to earn a big contract, or I will never have money in my life, or I'm too old for this, or I'm too young for this, I'm too inexperienced for this. So I think the key here is to really understand that you are actually capable of anything, and that taking responsibility of all those things that you think are holding you back, and actually getting into moving into action, as you said, and actually starting changing things. Because I think that life will always be full of so many things we can't control. So these thoughts will sometimes always be there, but with practice and time, we can definitely try to fix them.
Yeah, you mentioned something about, we don't know that they are true. Sometimes those beliefs might be, yes, totally they are limiting us from taking action. But sometimes might someone ask, how do we know if they're actually the realities? How do I know, for example, if I will be able, to make that kind of money, if I'm capable of doing this? Yes, we don't need to take, risky actions, but definitely discussing this with someone who is professional, more experienced, they can tell you if at the moment that you are right now, if there are limiting beliefs that you can overcome so as to take the action that is needed, or they are actually some kind, not reality, but maybe the things that you are thinking of taking action, maybe they're a bit risky and you need, not to take that risky action. That's the only thing that I see
Hmm.
we might should pay some attention on.
Yeah, and you need to reassure yourself that you're able to do it, and sometimes it doesn't happen, overnight. But talking to people and just finding that maybe something that you thought was limiting in the past and that you couldn't do, and then trying to do a portion of this thing, will reassure you in your ability to actually tackle, the big, the big thing.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that as well. So I think that topic was introduced by Leana in our alumni. So Leana, thank you so much for the inspiration. And I think is one very, very important topic when it comes to mindset, especially for the topic that we are discussing today. So I will share my own story, and then we are going to address specific case scenarios that you have shared with us. And I think most of us, some of them, okay, we have encountered in the past or in the beginning of our career, but feel free to use the comments below and share with us any kind of limiting beliefs that you might have. So I will start with my own, which I realized, of course, later on, that when I was starting out was a limiting belief. It took me a bit long, but better late than never. So hello to Cameroon, hello to Poland. Yes, Dorota, great. Thank you for joining us. I see your comments, guys. So I remember when I was starting out, my father was telling me to start by creating my own business right away. And I remember telling to myself, of course, and that was the reason why I didn't initiate my business at the beginning. I remember telling to him and myself as well, well, there are so many offices in the center of Athens, or we have so many translation, as if everyone knows that. I knew that because I was in the industry, okay? And I had made some research to see, okay, what are the opportunities of me finding a job? So I had convinced myself by having this limiting belief that there is no market share for me, that there is already a lot of competition. And for that reason, I won't succeed if I take that step.
Yeah.
And that's, for me, I don't know if you agree or not, Luna, totally limiting belief that took me, 5 years, 5 years to work as an in-house translator and assistant, which I don't regret because I gained so much experience that actually helped me, to be able to be more professional and to feel more confident when I actually initiated my own business. But yes, it took me so long. And if I have one advice to give to those that are starting out right now, is don't wait, to be ready, because we never feel ready. Start before you are ready.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's for me, yes, my 5 cents. But let me know, guys. Share your opinion in the chat. I would really like to know your opinion. And
Yeah.
if you would like to know how to overcome those limiting beliefs, of course, this is what we're going to discuss as well today.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
for
if I
me,
can share mine as well. I think the
yeah,
biggest one I
I would
had
really
when I started my career was that everyone will know that I'm a beginner. Like it was really hard for me to break ground with like have enough experience. So many people say you come out of your studies and you don't have the experience, but you need to make it somehow, and for me this was like an unbreakable wall, and it took me a long time to actually get that experience and get confident in myself that I could actually do it. But even when you come out of university, you have the right knowledge, you have the right skills, and it's just a matter of finding the people who will give you a chance, but also presenting yourself with confidence from the get-go. And all these limiting beliefs usually will make you look insecure to the client or to whoever you're pitching, and then they will see that straight away. So I think it's good to tackle it from the beginning as well, that even if you're just coming out of university, you have a lot to offer, and yeah, and you deserve to have the best clients even then.
Yeah, for me, the most important is actually that those beliefs, they delay, okay,
That's it.
our growth and our success. I've seen that by working with some people and helping them to overcome faster, or to realize them so as to be able to overcome them. They are able, to reach their goals faster, and not to prolong. And some people, they might never actually achieve those goals. So for me, it's not only about delaying, it's sometimes that they are holding us back of actually living the life, okay, or following the career we always wanted. So I see Laura's comment. Hello, Laura. Thank you for watching us from the YouTube channel. And she says, I'm struggling with the fact that I'm a beginner too. In reality, I'm not a complete beginner. So,
Exactly.
Laura, let us know how many years you're in the business just to realize what you mean by not complete beginner. And we need to identify, you're struggling with the fact that you're a beginner. What does that mean? That you feel that you don't have the right skills, or you're not enough, I don't know, skilled or competent right now to do what? I would really love to know, this belief is holding you back from achieving what? Have you realized that? So Laura, let us know in the chat so as to be able to give you more practical advice, because here we're not only to discuss what are the limiting beliefs, which is really important, we're going to discuss how to identify them, how to define them, okay, because Laura is at the stage that she identified, but she hasn't defined exactly. So what's the obstacle and how to overcome that limiting belief so as to be able to follow your dreams, your goals, and so on. So use the chat below, okay, wherever you're watching us, from YouTube, LinkedIn, or Facebook, and let us know if you have any specific limiting beliefs you would like to overcome or to discuss as a topic, or share your own insights on the topic as well. So yes, I think also the limiting belief that you mentioned, Luna, I think most starting out translators, they have even not only starting out translators, beginners, like Laura says here, because we always feel that insecurity, feeling like I'm not that good, the translation is not perfect, and I've seen that how I've seen that because I've seen colleagues with master's degrees or even 10 years in the business. They still tell me, I'm not that specialized, so I need to take that CPD course. I need to follow that training. And when they do that, they're holding them back from actually taking other action.
Mm-hmm.
Because they think that they need to complete the CPD or the course just to be able to contact that kind of client or to be able to promote that kind of service or business. And sometimes, yes, might be the reality. But when you have so many degrees or when, have been some years in the business, I think it's the time, to realize that that's a limiting belief. It's not the reality.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, the first thing that you can do, even when you have a very good degree, actually start making some money and then reinvest. Because I'm a CPD hunter myself, okay? I really love taking courses. I'm studying currently, being so many years in the industry, because I really love, learning new things. But I have realized at what, level to actually include in my schedule the timing for those courses and the time that it needs in order to keep growing my business. So Laura says, I'm new to copywriting, but I'm very well versed in my niche and I'm very good at writing and content strategy. So what's holding you back to achieve what? I'm new to copywriting, but I'm very well. So the fact that you're new to copywriting, but the rules we are new at somewhere and we need, to gain experience. And definitely that's something that you can always be honest to your clients. You don't need to start away telling them, I'm 10 plus years of experience in that specific sector, but you could actually highlight the fact that you're very versed in your niche, or the fact that you're very good at writing and content strategy, or the previous experience that you can combine, with your new skill that you have acquired. So Laura, for me, it's really important to start focusing on the positive things that you have already and skills, and find a way to actually promote the positive ones, as long as you have some things that you think as drawback or less positive, like the fact that you're new to copywriting. Because when we started out, we were new, okay, but we had to gain some experience, okay, and we had to find some job. And actually, that's very common limiting belief that we could actually address from starting out translators. Like, I cannot find a job. That's very common, okay, that I hear a lot in my discovery calls. That's totally free calls that I offer to any kind of translator that they need help, especially the starting out. I really want to help them find their first job or to get into the industry. So they tell me, Virginia, I cannot find a job because I'm new, I don't have experience, or I do not know what to write in my CV. And then, yes, it's a combination of limiting belief and lack of knowledge. So what's your opinion on that? And then I will tell you mine.
Yeah. I mean, this is exactly the situation I was in. I think as you were saying, it's very important to stress on your strengths always, and in your studies, there's always transferable skills. Even if you're just coming out of your master's degree, you probably, learned to translate this particular type of text and all of that. So putting forward all the information that will obviously make you shine in the best light to the agency or the client that you're pitching to, and then probably not mentioning that you're new to copywriting, but however, you've done a lot of translations about writing content, and all of the keywords will be there for your client anyway. So it's just a case of switching the way you present yourself, I guess. And you seem already to be quite confident in the fact that you're really good at what you do. So that's great, and that will just transpire through, I think.
Yeah, and for me, it's really important to overcome that limiting belief, because all of us have started from somewhere. We all of us, when we were graduate translators, we didn't have, this kind of experience, but we all of us ended up, finding some work. We didn't work voluntarily for so many years, or we didn't work for free. So I'm not suggesting you, to work for free or still keep continuing voluntary in order to gain that experience, even if that would be one way. You can definitely find work. There is space, there is a part in the market. And actually there are companies that they might look for young and starting out translators because they want to train them. Because if you are already experienced and you have already a way of working, they might not be interested because they want to teach you the way, okay, they are doing things, or they have less budget. So they would be interested, in actually investing in a new translator just to be able to train them, okay, and to be able to meet their budget limits. So for me, there are ways, okay, as Luna mentioned, to overcome that limiting belief and practically to support the already, skills that you have gained, like the fact that you have gained a specialization through the courses that you have attended, through the university, or the fact that you're a holder of a university degree. That's really powerful. Okay, having studied 4 or 5 years translation, for me, it's really powerful. You're not just, someone that is bilingual and they would like to translate, or the fact that you might have taken any courses or a master's degree, or the fact that you have done some voluntary work or academic, translations during your studies. Try to find out ways, okay, to fill in that gap or lack of experience in your CV. But make sure that this is a limiting belief. There is work for everyone, okay? That's something that it shouldn't hold you back. But let's get to the case scenario, Luna, specifically, that the members of our alumni have shared with us, and we can discuss them publicly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we have the first one. For example, I would not be able to complete this because I'm alone. So that's one we have, for example.
Complete this as a project, they mean?
Yeah. I'm alone. I don't have a team. This is too much,
Yeah, definitely for all of us, we have studied alone, okay? But that's also a reason you to start partnering with other people. And definitely my suggestion to all translators is not to work alone. And by alone, I mean we are a community. You can find support from other colleagues. There's so many groups on Facebook that we support each other. You can find mentoring programs provided by associations for free if you don't have the investment to actually invest to someone professional. There are so many online resources that you can learn from others. So definitely for me, you don't need to work alone, even if alone means to actually have someone to support you, even mentally, not practically. But definitely the next step would be to partner with someone and work with someone. We have all of us done that in the past.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, realizing that you can reach out for help, realizing that you're really not alone in that particular situation, joining the community online, and also working, for example, with someone in the same language pair who can support you, answer your questions, and then, just asking colleagues and just because you're not alone.
Yeah, you're not alone. So definitely that's a limiting belief. And I would really like to elaborate a bit more on that if I had the person who asked it here. And if you're here, let us know. You can share a bit more. What do you mean here? But definitely, yes, identifying that this is a limiting belief, that you are not alone, and there are ways that you can actually, partner with someone or find the help that you need out there. Yes, you can do it. Okay, and all of us started alone. I think I suppose, at least myself, I started alone. So if you would like to discuss this more, please let us know in the chat. Okay.
Yeah, and for me it was I felt very disconnected to the whole translators community at first, and I thought that my issues were not the same as everyone else. You feel very isolated somehow, and that my problems were only my problems, and all the other translators were all doing great, and had all the best clients, and there was nothing left for me. But as soon as you start opening up, as soon as you start hearing translator stories and your colleagues' stories, and you just realize that we're really all in the same boat, and that you're not alone.
Be active, attend online events. Now we're going to start live events, become a member of an association, become a member of a Facebook group of other translators, find someone that you really like and start discussing with them, our industry related topics, attend events and conference international. Okay, so there are ways. That's how we met with Luna as well. Okay, and we're here today. So there are ways to meet other colleagues. Okay, and you don't need to be with everyone, but choose, a couple of people that you really trust, you find them funny or you really like them, and you can continue, discussing and keep in touch with them and addressing such issues. For me, it's such a shame that we are in 2022 and still translators, they feel alone. Okay, there are ways that we can change that as long as we want to change that. Okay.
Yeah, I think there's also, maybe in the past in the industry there were quite some taboos about rates and things like that, and I'm personally very, very open with that, and I think that it's just great to break those taboos and just talk openly to your colleagues, and sometimes you will give them the advice that they're exactly looking for, and then sometimes they will help you as well. So it's just really, for me anyway, I don't like taboos.
I can share my own experience that yes, starting out translators, they cannot find the support from more experienced one. When I initiated the voluntary mentoring program here for the Greek Translators Association, the Certified Translators Association, we were struggling to find mentors. They couldn't understand the value of actually helping other people, becoming their competitors, which is actually the opposite. When you help other people, you help yourself to grow, you keep growing, and I've seen that personally doing
Yeah,
that.
that's also a limited belief that there's a limited amount of resources to be got and that everything is already taken for you, you
Yeah,
know.
or they think, what's the reason why to do, what's in it for them, so they need, some motivation or some reason to do it, which actually I have explained that it was a topic of a conference talk of mine back in 2017. So for me, yes, there are some old and maybe older translators or more experienced that they don't want to share their expertise, and I've seen that when I was
Mm-hmm.
starting out. It was very difficult to find, someone to show me how to write a CV. No online resources 15 years ago, and still right now, people are struggling with the same topic. So I think it's a time to change that. So coming back, I think
Yeah.
we covered, okay,
Yeah.
this limiting belief. Let's go to another one that's really, really common, okay? This price will never be accepted. Or we can do it, tell it like a bit differently. Say no one is going to accept my rates. Or
Yeah. Who am I to charge this
might
much?
charge that much. Or I'm going to charge that they find it too expensive. Or, even if I have someone told me, is it ethical that
Yeah.
there was a translator? Is it ethical to charge that high for a translation? So they found it unethical even to actually charge the amount of money that they should based on their word rate. So what do you think, Luna? And then I will
Yeah.
tell my.
I think that it's a limiting belief that, as we were saying earlier, to join the topic from earlier, that there's a limited amount of resources. Sometimes it puts me, when I think this way, or when I'm quoting, for example, with a high rate because there's a lot of services involved, and I'm like, oh wow, this is quite high. And then I have this like little voice in my head that tells me, oh, maybe it's gonna be too expensive for them. And then I realize how much money there is in the world and how many, it helps me to realize, for example, what's the salary of multi-billionaires or things like that, and just realizing that the money is just something we created and there's an unlimited amount of it. And if I just take, for example, 10,000 for a translation, then this is going to be just very, very, very small portion of the money that is available to me in this world. And it just puts everything back into perspective. So this is my particular technique that I use, just realizing that there's not a limited amount of resources, and yeah, realizing that for if we were talking about rates in some of the previous
Yeah,
sessions.
lots.
If you have set your rates this way, it's for a reason, and if it's justified to you, then you will be able to justify it to your clients too. And also your ideal clients will never ever question it because they know the value that you bring them. So yeah, that would be my two cents on
The
this.
reason why I raise this issue, once again, even if we have discussed a lot about money before and rates and charging, because first of all, we need to realize that this is a limiting belief. This is a belief that is not the reality. And it's limiting because it's holding us back from actually taking the action, charging the amount of money that we should, okay, based on the calculation, of course, that we've made for our business in order to be able to make a profit. So for me, coming back to what you said, Luna, it's really important to understand that we create that. And I'm wondering, is it our
Mm-hmm.
industry? Because not every industry, has the same mindset that they cannot charge. Okay, you can take, for example, the lawyers. Why, they don't feel ever like I cannot charge that much. Okay, or for example, yeah, as translators, we have a reputation that we shouldn't, we cannot make money, or it's not that profitable industry, or you
Also,
won't.
it's not regulated, so sometimes, but when you realize the gap there is in rates, for example, from like a 0.04 for some people, and then some other people charging, I don't know, 60 cents per word. Like, I've seen that. And when you realize that there's such a gap, you're like, okay, what are those people doing differently?
That's something that you need to consider, and it's not the topic
Mm-hmm.
today, but definitely that's a way to go. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
what separates the best from the rest, and by best from the rest, I mean those that they have done it, they achieved the goal that you have in your mind, or even exceeded it, and why you cannot do this. And that's something I really work with my mentees as well. So I'm asking them, have you ever realized those people that are able to charge 60 cents that you mentioned, or even higher, what they've been doing, they're able to charge that much? Or even on LinkedIn, I was in a discussion and someone mentioned in the comment that you cannot make more than that if you work that many hours, because you cannot charge that high. And when I mentioned the rates that my mentees they charge, and you know that there was a mentee of our group that she was able to charge 28 cents, and not the direct clients, intermediary in Chicago, in the US, you will realize that you can do this. And when I shared that, in that discussion, they told me, is there anyone who can charge that much? The 28 cents. So there is, I think, lack of knowledge of that specific topic in our industry. There is this reputation, if you can say, that as an industry it's not that profitable, okay? And I think in combination with the mindset problems about money that we have from our young age, that we were raised, okay, from our families, that it's bad to make a lot of money, okay? It's for people that
money is evil.
Yeah, and especially if you see someone making a lot of money, you don't know what they've done in order to reach that, okay? My coach, she has a 7-figure business, and the only thing she does, okay, by making millions, actually helping other people, to keep growing. So no mysteries, no mafia, no, like, in order to be able to make the income that you wish. And I don't suggest that everyone should, have a 7-figure business, or they should, have that kind of money. Set your own goals, but don't, have those limiting beliefs holding you back from the goals that you want. Okay, that's my suggestion. So I think that Dorota is here in the comments. If you find a client who pays your high rate, of course you can charge it. I come back again to not if you find a client, Dorota. It's our responsibility, our obligation to find that client. No one, because translators, they're waiting there, okay, and they wait the clients to come to them, okay. And when I have had a discussion the last time, and I was telling them, which actually I'm going to discuss that in my upcoming free masterclass, so you can see the link here and sign up if you haven't already. They told me, really, you contact your clients? So still nowadays, in 2022, translators, I think that the clients, they're going to find them out of the blue. And they need to find ways, so how the clients they find. And yes, there is inbound marketing. Yes, clients, they can find you. Yes, by optimizing, for example, the LinkedIn profile, the way that I teach in my programs, you can increase 900% of views of your profile. And yes, your potential clients, they can find you. But at the same time, you can actually use the outbound marketing methods, and you can contact your clients. So those all are limiting beliefs in combination with lack of confidence. So Dorota, not if you find a client who can pay your rate, it's your responsibility to find them because they exist. Dorota says, when you have a client who pays, you can charge it. Yes, when you have it.
But also it's the other way around. I think you the client knows already how much the value, and then you present the price to them, and they don't even question it. You don't even know if they will accept, but you don't care because you will not accept a client who will just not accept it.
Exactly. So Dorota here again, okay, recording, and once again, and listen to Luna, the way that she just rephrased, okay, your sentence, and then you will realize that in between your words, there is a limiting belief that's holding you back, that you need to find first the client and then charge. No. You first set your rates so as to be able to have a profitable business, and then you find the clients, okay, that they are willing to pay that rate. So Dorota, we found out the limiting belief that you might not already knew that you have had. And we have Laura here. She says, Virginia, the best advice you have ever given me is that there is always someone out there who will pay the price you offer. Yes, Laura, thank you so much for mentioning that. You're giving the right to talk about, again, the Tiffany.co. They have a paperclip that they charge 1,000, okay, pounds, UK pounds.
It's gold.
Yeah, but still there are people. Would you buy a paperclip because it's gold? 1,000. There are people who do that, okay, and they don't find it unethical. And definitely, I doubt that Tiffany, they feel unethical because they have, even if some people in the Mentoring for Translators group, they had commented they should feel unethical. I'm not here to charge if they should feel unethical and if they should, provide that kind of money to people in poverty. Okay, that's another topic. That is a business. They have found a niche and a clientele that you say, okay, a part of the market that they are willing, to pay that, and maybe is not that expensive. And as a humor, Laura, thank you so much for telling this. Just to watch the judge, the court of Johnny Depp right now, and if you hear the amount of money that people they're making in that industry, you realize what's a different world on its own. Okay, so it's a matter of perspective, and definitely we need, okay, to learn to overcome those limiting beliefs, but at the same time be a bit realistic. But if I had stayed only realistic here in my country, being in a crisis since 2007 here, okay, then we had COVID. Now we have the war. I knew if I would follow, the measurable like way of thinking,
Mm-hmm.
not only translators but in general of our country here in Greece, I would have never, initiated my business at first place, because I initiated during the crisis, the financial we have had here in Greece. I wouldn't have seen the growth, and I wouldn't have, initiated the second business, and I wouldn't have a successful business right now.
That's
You
it.
need
If you wait
someone.
for the outside world to align to you, then this potentially will never happen. It starts from within, is what I
Yeah.
would say.
Someone says, I think Dorota as well, I sometimes have the same thoughts on rates as Luna, but then I think, for example, now there is inflation, so everything costs more than before, including translation services. So
Yeah,
is there anything?
it's a good way to justify your higher raising your rates every year to a new client. But it's also because you think that inflation, everyone learns about it, so this way I am justified to up my rates. It's always justified to raise your rates if you want to change your lifestyle. I find that you don't have to necessarily blame it on inflation, or like explain it or excuse it or find excuses. Oh, inflation exists, so I can raise my rates. You're always allowed to do that, I think.
And there are always clients there for your own price. It's your responsibility to find those clients. And if you can take something away from this actual life, is that this is a limiting belief. Okay, and there is a way, okay, to change it. Thank you so, Laura, for reminding me that. Let's
Yeah,
go to
I
the
think
next.
it also ties to I think one limiting belief that we potentially all
Mhm,
have in
mhm.
this industry is that the translation profession is not a profitable profession. Like
Yeah, I mentioned. Yeah.
it's not a profession where you can make a lot of money, but we know now that it is.
Yeah, and definitely you need to get out of your home. Okay, you need to interact with other translators in order to find out. That's how I found out. That's how I was able, to overcome those limiting beliefs and to overcome the obstacles that practically I had to face here in Greece. Okay, because of the financial crisis, I attended international events, international conferences, and I was able to see people making it, people succeeding, and then I realized I can make it. So please
Hmm.
attend events, conference, or live like those sessions. Try to be inspired by others. Read books that they help you, and Lunas is going to share later with us some resources. So definitely there are ways that they will help you grow. And if you ask myself, I have written an article on LinkedIn about how the international conference, they really helped me,
Yeah,
to grow and scale up my businesses.
me
And
too.
also I've been reading. You too?
Yeah, me too.
Great, Luna. And also there are books, okay, that I've been reading, business related, okay, and growth related books that they help you, and they work a lot with your mindset, okay, and they help you, to overcome some limiting beliefs. Thank you so much, ladies, for your comments and sharing your insights here. So let's go back to the next limiting belief. Is that?
Yeah. So we have one says, I will never survive with translation only. But I think we sort of
Yes.
covered it with what we just said. Translation is not profitable enough for me to survive, for me to make it, for me to make money from. And like you were just saying, yeah, just like being aware of your community and realizing how many we have a lot nowadays of extremely successful translators and interpreters. And so why not you?
But again, I had to see that on my own in order to realize,
For
because if
sure.
anyone tells you, okay, you don't take it for granted. But when I saw people, okay, making 6K very easily because they had translation memories, because they were very specialized, they were marketing their services, correctly, then I realized that I've been doing something wrong. Okay,
Hmm.
and of course, it's a matter of combination of limiting beliefs, okay, beliefs that are holding us from taking the action that is needed, and actually lack of knowledge what I need to do, okay, so as to be able to charge that much. That actually you said that earlier, Luna,
Hmm.
what those people that they're doing it, what they've been doing differently, okay? They have invested in tech,
Hmm.
and they have invested in getting specialized, they have invested in marketing. So there are always ways, okay, to achieve that and to be able to differentiate, okay, and to be able to show your value. That's what we were discussing in our last
Hmm.
mindset session. You can find the recording
Yeah.
on the YouTube channel or in the Mentoring for Translators group to actually find out, okay, ways that you can show your value to your clients and also yourself to realize the value, just to be able to charge the amount of money.
Hmm.
Is there anything else you would like to add, Luna?
I think we can move on to the next
Yeah,
one,
please.
if that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, for example, if you've been an employee, um, changing your mindset from being an employee and having that safety as an employee into becoming a
Mhm.
freelancer and just launching yourself as a newbie, let's say, into the freelancing world. And would you have any insights on this?
Yeah, that's a great topic. Actually, I was thinking of actually having a whole live about this topic. I
Yeah.
remember what we have shared with Sarah Henter on live, and you can find the recording on my YouTube channel, Facebook page, and the Facebook group Mentoring for Translators in the videos section, where we're discussing her path, her career change from being a solopreneur freelancer to a business owner. So you can find some practical advice there. But definitely for me, it's a mindset shift that it should be made there. And also in the masterclass, one of the 4 things I'm going to discuss is how to change your mindset just to be able to achieve that growth. Because for me, it's a matter of mindset when it comes to business related. So when I was discussing in one of the discovery calls with one translator starting out, and I told her, like, I help, what do you do? I help translators, to build profitable business and so on. She told me, I'm not a business, I'm a
Yeah.
freelancer. So there
Yeah.
are still translators who are freelancers and they don't think themselves as a business.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really important to do.
That
First of
is
all,
key. Yeah, is the first step.
because that you realize that as a business, you're not charity, so it means that you need to make some profit, and
Mm,
then the rest comes. But if you can still think that I'm just a freelancer working from home, living with my mom, I don't have any bills to pay, yes, okay, then that long you can go with your growth. You cannot grow any longer, okay? But if you see, the perspective, if you see the future coming, that you can be a business, that you can grow as much as you want, because some people they don't want, but you can keep growing, okay,
Mm-hmm.
to reach the level of success that you have in your mind. This is definitely a limiting belief that's holding you back, that you're not a business, that you're just a freelancer, so you have a specific of growth that you can achieve, which is not the reality. Is there anything that you would like to say about that, Luna?
Oh yeah. So yeah, as an employee, okay, sometimes you might have the safety of having a regular income. However, it was a for me when I started as a freelancer, it's just because I thought that this was the only way for me. But then when I started being inspired by people from the industry and realizing that there was a way for me to actually make more than just a living from it, I realized that there was literally no limit on how much I could earn. Um, no limits on how comfortable I would like to make my life, make my life, and how I wanted to help others, and how my money could actually help others. It really opened my vision. So like it wasn't just my limiting beliefs, but also reaching out to other people actually expanded completely my goals. I was like, oh, okay, people are reaching this high. Okay, so I can reach this high and this high and this high, and then we just all together we just raise the profession as a whole. And this is, I think, a really really great chance to have that. I think we're really supportive as a community, and there's room for everyone. So
Yeah,
yeah, even as a freelancer, you're not just a freelancer, you're a business. And then yeah, just there's no limit to how much you can grow.
for me,
Literally no
it
limit.
really makes sense to discuss it a bit more with the person who shared that. So if you're watching us here live, you can like share a bit more on that, because I would really like to see what kind of actions they're not taking because they have this employee mindset. But I can come up with some things on my own. For example, yes, when you're an employee, you have the security, the safety net, as we can say, of a salary every month. And that's something that you decide when you become a freelancer or an entrepreneur or a business owner on your own, that's the risk that you need to take in order to feel the freedom that
That's
you
it.
will feel at the end when you reach this goal. So for me, the first thing is really, really important to realize that is your own decision to become a freelancer or entrepreneur and leave that in-house position. There are reasons why you left that in-house position, okay, employment, and you decided to become a freelancer. There's always a reason, and you need to find your why. And always when we struggle, I always ask my mentees, go back to your why you
Hmm.
started. What was your motivation? What was the reason you left that job? And then you will come back, okay, to actually taking the action that is needed. But for me, it's really important to understand that it's totally different. Becoming a freelancer and entrepreneur has nothing to do with employment
Yep.
and being an employee. And it's really important to set the right basis there, okay, which means that you need to have the mindset, okay, entrepreneur, that you need to take risks, that you need, to follow your dreams, that you need to take action. So the salary won't come at the end of every month. It's your responsibility to be active on a daily basis, online, offline, being visible to your clients, provide there, and actually showcase your expertise so as those clients to trust you and give you work. But I don't know if there is anything else you would like to add. This, Luna, could be a whole like how to change from
Oh
being
yeah,
an employee to a
for
business
sure.
owner.
Yeah, I
I've
think
been
on a limiting belief point of view, I think we
Yeah,
covered
and
this.
also I've been there, so I can share my own, experience. I used to be an employee, and I remember that I wouldn't have left my in-house position if it was, the crisis, and then I had to leave the position. So yes, they
Yeah.
had to actually decrease salary. I had to say no because then I realized that I didn't like to do that for less, and then I realized that my passion was different, and I followed my dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you're lucky enough that life will take you where you want to go, the
Mm-hmm.
bad way or the good way. But at the end, you will realize that it was for good.
But
While
there's
you,
also a little element of having this slight discomfort.
yeah, that's
Quitting a
where
limiting
those,
belief is
yeah,
your limiting belief is something that you've always known. So of course it's comfortable. Being an employee, it's something that you've always done. So of course it's comfortable.
yeah, but
It's what
it's
everyone
because
else
you have
does.
this limiting belief because you don't want to become, to go to this discomfort. So that's
That's
why I'm
it. Yeah,
to
but
that.
you're always going to have that sweet that spot that is going to be mildly uncomfortable, but you just have to take the risk. And I think the risk also has a rewards, and you need to focus on that.
And because I've been there and I'm telling you that, if the situation wouldn't bring me here, I don't know, it would have taken me longer. And because I know the person who wrote this limiting belief, I know she hasn't left her in-house position because she's trying right now to build her business before she leave her position. Because I have worked with translators, in my mentoring programs, that they were in-house and they, got into the programs just to find out
Hmm.
how to become freelancers. It's really difficult, to leave that safety net. And I really realize, that's a limiting belief there in combination with this discomfort that you need to feel. And of course, my suggestion or advice here would be that yes, of course, you need to feel that discomfort because growth doesn't come, okay, by being comfortable and
It's
following
not
your
easy.
routine. Okay, you need to go to this discomfort not to see the growth that you want. You need to be prepared for that. And secondly, you can um, do as much as you can so as to be prepared, like if it's needed, at some point to become part-time before you leave the full-time job, so as to be able, to test the waters, or if you can save some money so as to have the budget for a whole year, so as to be able, to prepare yourself better. There are practical ways, of actually becoming a bit better prepared for the upcoming freelancing and business career, if you would like to say so. So if you have more questions about how to turn from an employee into a freelancer, or how to be able to become fully booked as a freelancer, reach me out, because there are those free calls, or definitely you can sign up for the free masterclass. We can discuss even more, or use the comments below and let us know if you would like us to discuss this more. But it's something that you build along the way. No one has been,
Hmm.
born entrepreneur or a business owner, and this is something that you need to learn. So Luna, let's go
Agreed.
to the next, unless yes, there is something else you would like to add.
I know. Yeah, I just said I agree with you.
Right.
So the next one, um, I can't charge a lot of money because this is easy for me to do. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's a good one because some people, with all the knowledge that we've acquired during our studies, we spend so much time learning. So of course it becomes easy. Thank God it's not difficult for us anymore to, to produce a good translation. I mean, it's supposed to be your day to day. So it doesn't have to be difficult for you to earn money. I don't think there's no relation there.
But yes, we're coming back to the money that we were discussing before. So I can't charge a lot of money because that is easy for me to do. So they
Yeah.
mean it's easy for them to do what? Not to charge or to charge?
No, I guess they say like I don't feel comfortable charging that much money for something that is easy for me to do.
Because it's easy the work. Yes, but
Yeah.
in order to become easy that work, okay, you have started
Yeah.
so many years. And for me, I can tell you, being 15 years in the business is one of the most difficult works. They need a lot of, in detail work and knowledge and research and loneliness. So it takes a lot to become a good translator. So first of all, I don't find it easy. But again, for those that they find it easy, check it again if you find it easy, because usually translators, they don't find it easy.
No, but
Still,
I mean it's something that you do every day. It's supposed to be a little bit easier than when you were learning.
Still, though, if you leave an individual to do it alone, they would so if those that they are, cannot pay you the amount, or they find it expensive, can they do this alone? If they could, that would be easy, but if they
Hmm.
don't, it means that it needs some skills that not everyone has, so as to do
Definitely.
this. And I'm coming back again to the value. So you don't sell that just 30 minutes, 10 minutes that it takes you, to translate one page, or 1 hour, depending, on the difficulty of the text. You are paid for the outcome and the value that you provide to your own clients. And that's something, again, we're repeating again, but we see that behind all those limiting beliefs, we're coming to the same, conclusion. So you think that you charge for something, for your time, for example, the 10 minutes that takes you, or the hour. No, you don't charge for that. The price, okay, is the perceived value pricing model that we had discussed the last time, if you remember. So Luna, do you agree with this? Can you hear me? Is
Yeah.
the connection?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
Mhm. Yes,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, and also the amount of work and experience that you've acquired so far, that you weren't earning money from.
Yeah, for me, we need to realize the value that we are not paid, for the time. And also that would be the reason, for example, that someone that's coming to your home and it takes them for 10 minutes, to change, I don't know, something, or the engineer that takes, so time, but they are paid, that amount of money. So we need to realize that this exists in other professions, and we need to find out why in our profession that has become the actual reality, and people, they still think that this is the reality,
Hmm.
which is not, because in other profession they don't think so, that they are charging too much for the 10 minutes they take them, I don't know, to visit. Or when you go to a doctor, and they just see you and they tell you, oh, you don't have anything in 5 minutes. And you
Hmm.
leave and you have to pay that 50, 100, or what's their amount of money. And you never say, oh, why to pay the doctor, 50 or 100 euros because they didn't do anything. They just saw me, I'm well, but you still pay them. Is that correct? Let me know in the comments if you agree or not with us. But for me, I think it's such a shame that only in our profession, or very few professions, we still have this limiting belief ourselves, and also, if we can say, reputation.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we covered
Yeah.
this as well.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, just as a last thing, there's no relationship between money and how much you could charge and the easiness or the difficulty of a task. There is just
Mhm.
isn't a relationship there, I don't think.
Exactly.
All right. Next, is someone. It's one of those that I also have.
So
If
Laura, just before we go to the next,
Yeah.
says if it's something is easy for you, it means you're such an expert in what you do that you can charge for quality and speed. And of course, you can charge for the years that it took you. So thank you so much, Laura, for sharing that with
Yeah.
us. Yes, that's the point. Realize the value that you offer, the years that it took you to actually learn something like that. And it's time, to raise the standards of our profession. And again, it's our responsibility, take care of our profession and not to lower
It
it,
is.
but to
Yeah.
actually, make it in better and better for the
Yeah.
future generations.
That's it. Yeah. Next one. So is one that I also have. It's I position myself as an expert,
Mhm.
but if I share my knowledge about this field that is supposed to be my niche, someone that knows even more will actually tell me that I don't know anything. So I think it's linked to the imposter syndrome, thinking like um, someone will find out that I'm not as knowledgeable as I make myself to be.
Yeah, that
Um,
comes, yes, along with one very common limiting belief that I hear from you guys is that I'm not qualified enough to write content about my specialization, because
mhm.
people read it, lawyers, for example. I'm not that good enough or knowledgeable enough. So I think it's common to what you're saying. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you were
because
about to.
because I think that of course no one knows everything about any subject, so you will always find some people who will teach you something new about your niche that you're an expert in. I think this is just this state of knowledge in general, and whenever you know something, it's also humble to realize that you don't know everything, and it's okay. You can be an expert in a topic and still learn new things, and I think that's beautiful. And I don't think you will ever I think it's a case of like, if you don't feel ready right now, you might never feel ready. Like you were saying, you should ch-
No.
go into that discomfort before you feel ready, because there's a high chance that you will never feel like everything is lined up perfectly for you to take that step that you need to take.
Mm-hmm.
um I think it's time to, if you feel like an expert in a field, and even if someone tells you like, oh, maybe you made a mistake here, you just like thank them and then you go on your way. It doesn't mean that it cancels everything else about you that you know about this topic. I don't know
Yeah,
what
for
you
me, it's
think.
really important to understand exactly, behind that sentence, what's the case scenario exactly. But let's gather all of them because I think are the same. So if I share my specializations, someone more knowledgeable will find that I'm actually an idiot, or I can't. I need to become better or more knowledgeable before I start my own blog posting on social media. So I think that falls into the same category of limiting
Mm-hmm.
beliefs. We're not that knowledgeable about our specialization, and also about visibility. Okay, that's something else that's holding us back from actually posting content out there. There will always be excuses when we don't
Mm-hmm.
want to do something. I remember myself and I see my mentees when they don't want to do something because that's the discomfort that we were discussing. They're finding so many excuses that I will say the last one later on because we need to sum up at some point. So that's one more that we're going to cover today. First of all, the lawyers, the engineers, if those are your specialization and your target market or audience for your content, they don't expect from a translator or a linguist to have the same level of knowledge as they do. And it's not your responsibility. I think I have discussed that with Louise in one of our sessions, but again, I need to repeat myself because sometimes, yes, we need to hear that many, many times.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to write like an engineer if you're not an engineer. You don't need to be that expert, in legal topics. You cannot be that expert, okay, even if you would like to be. But that shouldn't holding you back from actually sharing your knowledge in combination with your specialization. So no one is expecting from a linguist or translator or interpreter to talk about legal topics, as a lawyer, or talk about tech topics as an engineer, and so on, depending on the specialization. No one. But they expect to see behind your linguistic knowledge, okay, what's your expertise in that specific niche, how you have gained that. And if you can combine topics of your content, that they combine some knowledge, okay, of your specialization along with your translation, then for me, that's the golden rule. Then you have, the balance that is needed. You don't need to write text for engineers as an engineer. That's not your,
Mm-hmm.
and actually it's not going to bring you any clients. And of course, in a discussion, you need to talk about things that you know very well, but not to be, I don't know, to play that you're smarter or you know better than a lawyer or engineer. I'm bringing that as an example here, okay? You need to contribute to the discussion at the level that you already know that topic as an expert that you are in your own industry, because also a lawyer or an engineer, they don't know, translation-related topics to discuss with you. So for me, that's a limiting belief that you need to, have the knowledge of your specialization, or the people in your specialization, to be able to get into discussion with them, to reach them out, or write content for them.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything else you would like to add, Luna.
No, that's it. I think you covered everything. Yeah.
I hope that
I hope
this
this helps.
yeah, I hope this helps and it's clear to people who have written, Dominique and Louise, those limiting beliefs in the Mentoring for Translators group. But ladies, if you're here or if you watch the recording later, let me know. Okay, of course, Louise, we are going to meet in the monthly call in the alumni. But all of you guys, reach me out or right underneath the comments of the video and let me know if that was clear or if you would like to discuss it more. Because for me, it's really important. The sooner you realize that's a limiting belief and how to overcome it, okay, the sooner the success will come. And by success, I mean whatever you define in your mind as a success, okay? So I think we've covered those that they have said. And now, as the last one, I would really like to share one very, very common limiting belief that I need to address with my mentees and people in my mentoring programs is that I cannot contact my clients. What if they ask me why am I contacting them? Why I'm interested in what they do? What if they find me jealousy? What if they find me pushy? What if they ignore me? And I'm coming back to what I was saying before, like you can find so many excuses when you don't want to do something because that's really, taking out of your comfort zone. So yes, you need to go out of your comfort zone. You need to send those emails. You need to send those messages. You need to add those people in your network. And imagine what, because I've been doing that 6 years at least right now, no one has ever asked me why I'm interested in what they do. Okay. And even if they weren't interested, they might not have added me in their network. Okay. Or they didn't follow me. And that's pretty fine. Okay. We cannot be liked by everyone. But no one has ever asked me why or were rude to me or it might have been once, but that's the problem after thousands of people, okay, that I have contacted. So for me, it's really important, okay, because I remember Anya was that in the full book translator formula, she told me that's a reason why you are holding yourself back from actually send those messages, and you will see the change in your business. I don't know if there is something you would like to share.
Yeah, absolutely. It's true that no one ever asks you why, why you contact them. I think it's never happened to me either.
That's a real question I got asked in the full book translator formula while we were creating our campaign, and they didn't send those messages. What if they tell me that? What if no one, okay? As long as, of course, you send in a professional way those messages, you have a message that showcases, your expertise and your professionalism, and you know how to do it, professional without, spamming people and doing things that are not proper. But as long as you follow, specific instructions, you're doing it professional, you know what you're writing to them, you have, no fear to actually do that. You need to take that action in order to see that change in your business. And by change, I mean any kind of growth or success that you wish. You need to, okay, take that action. Send those messages, send those emails, contact those clients, get on a call with them. Yes, it's very difficult. Okay, but you need to practice. There are ways that you can overcome. Practice with a friend before, okay, like you are on a discovery call with a client, what you would ask them, how the discussion will go. And still myself keep learning. I've been 15 years in the business. Still,
Of course.
I can, write down scripts for all kind of scenarios because you've been asking me to write scripts. It's impossible for any kind. Yes, I have come with some scripts based on my experience to common, conclusions of a discovery call or a sales call with the potential clients, but you never know how the discussion will go. And of course, that can be another topic. And I have promised, of course, in our alumni to have a masterclass specifically for how to improve your sales techniques and sales skills. So thank you all for contributing to this great discussion today. I hope that you find them helpful. I see so many people also in the Mentoring for Translators group on LinkedIn, many of you. So thank you so much. And
Great.
YouTube. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Dorota, who was from Cameroon. Thank you all for being here. And Luna, is there anything else you would like to add? You have the resources, I remember.
Yeah, I'm gonna share some resources and for you in the comments. And just as a last,
Vivian from Cameroon. I'm sorry for that. Vivian.
It's just as a word for the end, I guess. Identifying those limiting beliefs, defining them, defining the obstacle that it causes you, and then realizing that they're not true, and then taking action in all of the things that, and also reassuring yourselves by testing little things, by talking to other people without taboos, by deleting this idea that other people will reject you, and just being very open. And I think, we already have so many bad things around us all the time. I think that, we shouldn't add any bad thoughts in our brains even more than we already have. So, just,
positivity is really important. And it's not
and it
just
won't be overnight. Like, also I want to say, like you were saying, we keep learning, and it really feels like you're building like a really nice wall, but it's going to be brick by brick. So keep at it, and little by little, I think after a while you just like surprise yourself too. And I think we have a really great profession to do that.
Yeah, exactly. And as long as you provide value, you provide high quality, you are professional, you realize the value that you offer to your clients, those things will, won't be an obstacle anymore. Okay. And the sooner you realize, the sooner the success will come to you, or the growth that you wish.
You will see the rewards. Yes.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to be uncomfortable.
Exactly, because you need to get out of your comfort zone if you want to see growth. Okay, we don't grow by being and doing the same thing. So, any resources? Are you going to share them in the chat?
Yep. In the mentoring group, I'll share them a few books that helped myself. And
So I'm sharing also in the chat a link to sign up for the masterclass, and I would like to see you there. It's totally for free. It's going to be at least 2 hours. It's very interactive as always. If you've been in any masterclass before, this is going to be updated with new hacks and tips that I have gathered lately. And we're going to talk about sales and mindset shifts that you need to make in order to be able to see the success that you wish in your sales. So we're going to talk about sales, how to find your clients, and the most common mistakes that I have gathered from the discovery calls with you guys, and how to overcome those mistakes that you make so as to be able to see the growth that you want. Those mistakes that you make, and they keep you behind, and they don't allow you, to see the progress and success that you wish in your business. So, Luna,
Thank you.
we're about to say something. The
No,
books, no?
no, the resources. I'll share them in the comments.
Okay, so join us in the Mentoring for
Yeah.
Translators Facebook community totally for free. Okay, it will remain forever for free. And Luna is a member, is going to share underneath the actual live, where you find the live, underneath the videos section in the Facebook group. Thank you, all of you, that you were watching from LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. Have a great weekend. Can't wait to see you at the Masterclass May 12. And of course, Luna, we will meet again in our monthly session. And next month, do we have a topic?
Yes, we will talk about money mindset next month. So
Okay. So it
yes,
will
I
be
think
the
that's going to be a really
eliminate.
good one.
Really? Okay. So thank you guys for being here live with us. Have a great weekend and see you soon.
See you
Bye-bye.
soon. Thank you very much for attending.
Thank you so much.